Hello YouTube, welcome back to my playthrough of Max Payne 3. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope that you guys also like the cosplay for this part, for Chapter 7. This is probably the part that everybody's been looking forward to. Everybody's like, when are you going to do the Favela mission? When are you going to do the Favela mission? Well, here it is. Hope you guys are enjoying. And again, if you enjoy the series, do drop a like. It does help the series out a lot. Let's continue where we left off here.
So I guess I was finally about to go and experience the other side of Sao Paulo firsthand. The bit people try to ignore. The unpleasant memory they try to obliterate with cocktails and helicopters and parties and lines of blow, like rich fools the world over. I was a day off the sauce for the first time in years and knew I was due a hangover sent direct from Mother Nature.
É claro, cansa, whisky, neon, pouca luz, ela dança. Tô eu e meus demônios como sempre, você sempre. Cigarro, uma da cliente, sem fé, tudo que fala a mente. Fundo do poço, osso, dono da docente. Amor, busquei tipo samba.
I had no idea where the hell I was gonna go, so I decided to head straight for the street party that seemed to be raging. Either that or some other fool had gotten there before me and now was being ritually sacrificed. I've had better ideas, but then I've also had worse ones, like accepting this job in the first place.
E aí, gringo?
Now, about this scene, I'm just gonna pause for a moment because I just don't want to talk over the cutscene. This kid was following Max from the start. If you watch the beginning of the cutscene carefully, you can see this kid was eyeing Max and following him, and he can tell that Max is not from here. He can tell that Max is a foreigner, and also, Max is wearing literally the worst possible clothing, like literally like a Hawaiian shirt, and he's also wearing, a chest holster, which I'm actually wearing this right now too. But basically, this is the worst kind of thing that he could possibly wear. This is making him stick out very easily. Everybody can basically see he's not from the favelas. And also, this kid is probably a gang lookout. Now, when I was a kid, I played this game. I was around, 18 when this game came out. This game came out in 2012. Yeah, so 2012 was around 18. And even back then, when I played this game the first time, I didn't understand what this kid was doing at the start, but this kid is actually a gang lookout. He was on the lookout for people exactly like Max. He saw that Max is a foreigner, and he's leading Max into a trap in order to get robbed. And gangs do this in real life where they actually use kids all over the world, not just in Brazil. They do it in America as well. They will use kids and as lookouts primarily because kids, you don't expect kids to be involved in that type of stuff. So they use kids as lookout for the gangs. Kids will also be selling drugs a lot of times for the gangs. And the reason for that is because if the kid gets caught with the drugs, the sentence is going to be a lot less. So they basically give the kid the drugs, tell him to sell, probably give him a very small cut of it, but that's basically it. And kids like this, they grow up in very poor areas. They don't have much opportunity, and so they get easily swayed by these gangs. And a lot of these gangs, they know these people, they grew up in the same neighborhood as them. It's their, friends, their family members even. And so it's like, they see themselves as just working for their neighborhoods, working for their family and friends. They don't see it as much more than that. A lot of times these kids don't realize fully what they're doing is wrong. And so this kid just sees a foreigner, come into the neighborhood, an outsider. Basically, he's going to tell his gang, and his gang's going to come and jump Max.
Boss, kid.
Eu me amarro nos States. Você precisa de ajuda, senhor?
Speak English?
Aham, falo sim, sem problema.
I need to know if you've ever seen this girl, Fabiana. Come here for a second. Look at her.
I know lots of girls. Sexy. Come on. This way.
Where are you going? Wait a minute. Down there?
É isso.
Jesus.
This way. Come on.
At least I had found myself a tour guide. The way I see it, there's two types of people. Those who spend their lives trying to build a future, and those who spend their lives trying to rebuild the past. For too long, I've been stuck in between, hidden in the dark. What was I really doing, walking in there with my bad haircut and ridiculous shirt? Was I there to make something right? Or was I just using a messed up situation to indulge myself, grasping at some desperate delusion of control? Maybe the two went hand in hand more than I cared to admit.
A gente não tá no zoológico, turista de merda!
Por aqui, fun times, party, party!
Ô papai, eu vim devolver o seu sorriso favela. Leve e solta pra cantar. Nunca esquecer como sua paz é bela. Na força,
I had stumbled into some kind of street party. This was the kind of reality Americans paid top dollar to see. Slums had become tourist attractions.
See this? The kid let him into a trap.
Spirit of the poor
and now the
from
kid's
inside
nowhere to
their
be seen.
Bulletproof buses. I felt dumb and exposed. I missed the booze. Not that it mattered. Sober or drunk, I was hardly undercover. I stood out in this place like a streetwalker in a monastery.
barracos e morros sem socorro no lugar, sem esperança, nada, sem luz que possa inspirar.
Continua andando, caralho! Que porra é essa que você tá fazendo aqui? Como que você sai entrando aqui assim? Anda, vai pra lá!
What do you need, guys? What do you
O que
need?
você tá fazendo aqui? Eu tô te perguntando. Eu te chamei aqui, porra!
Easy, pal, easy.
Ah, então, você é americano de merda.
Look, I didn't mean any offense.
Me dá só...
I can tell he called them an American shit. I can just tell from that a little bit of that, some of the words I understand.
uma razão pra eu não te matar, seu americano burro!
Desculpa, amigo, por favor.
Passa tudo que você tem, viado! Pega o dinheiro dele! Ah, relojão, hein? Passa aqui. Dá logo! Filho da puta! Valeu, mano. Bem-vindo à favela Nova Esperança. Agora não, fora daqui!
All things considered, I was gonna have to look on this as a good outcome. I was deep in gang territory. These kids were raised hating clowns like me. Middle-income ass-kickers who protected the rich by shooting kids like them.
Those guys, you'll see them again. Those guys will get what's coming to them, though.
First day off the sauce, and somehow I'd still ended up in the gutter.
And about the favelas, most people associate the favelas with Brazil, but there's actually favelas all over South America. Venezuela has a lot of favelas as well.
If there was one thing I'd learned since I'd been here, it was that Brazilians came out of the womb kicking a ball. And for kids like these, was their one legal chance at a ticket out of here.
Yeah, so what he meant is that for a lot of kids, that their dream is to basically grow up and become soccer players. Claudio, the guy who died, he actually comes from the favelas.
Tá na hora da janta, caralho! Tô muito gorda?
Sabe jogar palitinho, rapaz?
Mostra.
It's one of the few opportunities people would have.
Vai lá, mostra pra ele.
Você escolhe um do...
Can somebody translate this scene, by the way? I was always really curious what they were saying here.
Desculpa, olá. Fala inglês. I'm a little lost. Perdido? Onde és tu?
Tá no lugar errado, rapá.
No comprende. I need a phone, a telephone.
Bora.
Publico.
A gente não é centro de informação turística, não.
Well, they weren't gonna help me. And who could blame them? I was a dumb American in a place where dumb Americans were less popular than the clap. If I was gonna find my way out of this mess, I was on my own.
Also, what I'll say about this scene is pretty realistic. And the reason I say it's pretty realistic is because I can imagine that if an American had gotten lost in the favelas, I can imagine this is the type of reaction that they would get from people. Like, people, like, being very unhelpful, being very rude to Max like this. And the reason for why do they hate Max so much, even though Max didn't do anything to them? It's because they see Max as an American, and they think that Americans are rich people, they think that Americans are elitist, and they think that Americans look down on people like them. And so they see Max, they're like, oh, it's some elitist American that came into our neighborhood, and they look down on him.
Far up ahead. The irony was not lost on me. I figured sobriety was no use to me dead.
Passa o baseado. Ih, não é tua vez não, passa aí, meu.
Aí, tem visto a irmã do Wilson, mano?
O que esse cara quer?
Aí, bela camisa, hein?
Tu perdeu o fusão, amigo.
A lot of people in very poor countries will look down on Americans and thinking that Americans are elitist. Not all Americans are elitist, but that's the stereotype that a lot of people have about Americans. That Americans are rich people, they're elitist, and they think that they're better than everyone. So that's one of the reasons that Max is just having this negative reaction from people. Remember this guy here?
Hey, are you lost?
In more ways than I could possibly explain.
I know you. At the disco, with the gun. Yeah, you had hair back then and better clothes. Anders Dedling from Steele, North Dakota. Why on earth are you here?
Well, I'm, looking for someone. What are you doing here?
We came to help the cause. See, after I retired, my wife, she said I had to do something. And well, you know, I always loved kids, so I got involved in Angels of the Hill. Oh, it's a great cause, and they're really great folk, and, well, now we come down twice a year to help inoculate the children of the favelas. Yeah, oh, simply wonderful, giving back. Whole family does it. Heck, my little girl's coming in a couple of days.
Aren't you afraid?
I was a cop for 25 years. And granted, Steele ain't San Paulo, but, you know, I seen things. And people are the same everywhere, good, bad, and different.
Listen, have you heard anything about a woman, about 28, rich? She was kidnapped. I heard she was being held around here.
No.
All right, well, good luck.
All right, you too. You look like you need it. I gotta get back at it. Hey, I'll say a prayer for you.
Another life lesson I didn't want.
And about this guy, what I'll say is that if you notice there's three cutscenes where you encounter with him. After the cutscene, he just disappears. You don't see him again. He always closes the door behind him. And so there was this common fan, when Max Payne 3 came out, there was this common fan theory, and it's still, I think it's still a theory. I think a lot of people still believe it. A lot of people don't think that he's actually a real person. They think he's just a hallucination. They think that Max is just hallucinating him because of all the drugs, the painkillers, and the alcohol that he's been on. And basically, Max sees this guy in 3 places. He sees him at the nightclub, the favela, and also the airport. And the guy represents basically the type of person that Max Payne always wanted to be. Like, you know, a cop, living happily with a family, you know, retired, doing something good. Max lost his family. He's just in a spiral of depression. This guy is basically who Max ultimately wanted to be, just like him. And about the guy is, he talks way too much, but he's generally a good guy. He has a good heart. Also, about the town where the guy is from, Steele, North Dakota, I moved to the upper Midwest, 4 years ago, and what I will say about it is, I've been to North Dakota a few times. I've actually been to Bismarck, which is the capital of North Dakota. I have never been to Steele. I've never heard of Steele. I actually looked up where Steele was. Steele is a very small town. It has like a roughly around a population of 600 people, so it's a very rural area. It's about 45 minutes from Bismarck. But where he's from, it's a very rural area, plains, very few buildings, mostly farms.
Sai de cima de mim, meu. Ô. Maluco, pô.
I can't believe that people go to places like this.
I hoped this classy-looking establishment would have a phone so I could call Passos. Either that or a gun so I could shoot myself and save these kids the bother.
Hey, that telephone?
Telefone, vai, lá no fundo, ó. Segue em frente.
When you're stuck in a foreign country and you don't know the words for reverse charges, and you're in some lonely skin joint in the middle of some poor slum, having just had every last cent robbed from you, and you call yourself a bodyguard, then you know you're a loser.
Hey, Matt, can I buy you a beer?
Do I know you?
I don't think so.
Look, if you're gonna shoot me, make it quick, I'm a little busy.
If I was going to shoot you, I wouldn't waste a beer.
Wait, come on. I'm trying to dry out a bit, so just a soda, please.
Sure. Why don't you go sit down? Guaraná pra ele, chopp pra mim. Bem gelado. Interesting haircut, by the way. Meant to tell you that.
Yeah, well.
Wilson da Silva.
Very good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, I think.
Although you'll forgive me if I promise never to employ you as my bodyguard. You did a great job watching after Rodrigo Branco.
Fuck you.
You were set up.
Bet your ass I was.
Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen this guy? Serrano.
Yep. He's a real sweetheart.
Yeah, you sure put his gang out of business. But don't worry, those guys, they're a small fry. This is the guy I'm interested in. Neves. And this is his little buddy here. Milo Hegel. They work for this vigilante group, Crasha Preto.
Yep, I know him.
Well, they're very popular with right-wing politicians, like Victor Branco. Now, you see, many years ago, he helped clear some villages on a bit of land Rodrigo Branco wanted to develop.
Rodrigo Branco?
Yes, he did some very bad things. Anyway, have you ever seen this guy?
Maybe at the stadium.
I knew you were involved in that business. You know, I wanted to investigate that, but I got an order to blame it on some local street kids instead. Tell me.
About this part, I wanted to comment one thing that a lot of people miss. This is most likely, like, while it's never fully confirmed in the storyline, this is most likely where Rodrigo and Victor had their falling out. So Rodrigo and Victor used to have a closer relationship, but something happened and they fell out, and this is most likely the cause. So Rodrigo made his fortunes in developing stuff. He controlled the majority of the family money. When their father passed away, he got most of the money. And what happened was Rodrigo had purchased some land that he wanted to develop. Now, on that land, there was a lot of homeless people, around 300 homeless people. And what happened was Victor basically went up to Rodrigo and told him, oh, you know, I know these guys in the Crasha Preto. We can just use them. They will, you know, get these people off of the land so that we can develop it. And Rodrigo most likely agreed to this. Now, we know the type of person that Rodrigo is. Rodrigo's not a cruel person. He's not an evil person. And what happened is the Crasha Preto, instead of making these people leave the land, what they did was they killed all the homeless people that were on that land, or they kidnapped them and then did God knows what. And what happened is Rodrigo got pissed about this. He didn't expect anybody to die. He just thought that the Crasha Preto would just move the people off of the land, and that's most likely where Victor and Rodrigo had their falling out. And then Rodrigo at that point would refuse to fund Victor's political campaign anymore.
What happened there?
Nothing. We simply went to hand over some cash to this guy's clowns for a ransom exchange when this guy's clowns jumped us and they shot everybody.
Apart from you and your boy Passos.
That's right. We had to shoot our way out of there.
They let you go. It's okay, it's a little weird right now. But I know that Victor Branco is involved in all this. I just don't know how or why. And I know that the UFE are involved in all this as well, but I just don't know how or why. And you know what's gonna happen? The moment is gonna come along when I put all these pieces together, and at that moment, someone is gonna come along and put a bullet in my head. Anyway, listen. I think you might want this.
Thank you. I'll need it.
And if it's Fabiana Branco you've come looking for, I think she's up the hill.
So why don't you just go get her?
I don't know. I'm a cop. I mean, I'll fight corruption. I'll stand up to the rich and dumb, but if I go up that hill right now, I'll be dead in 3 minutes or less. Maybe you too, Max. You're in the jungle now.
So it appears.
If you survive the next hour, let's speak. You help me. And I'm gonna do what I can to help you. Good luck.
I didn't know what to make of what this guy had just told me. What was true and what was just someone else's convenient bullshit. Then
This is the
some
best
less
scene
than
right now.
friendly locals came in and found me in the wrong mood to party.
I've got a gun, and if anyone thinks they're gonna take it from me, they're dead wrong. Remember that line?
E aí, gringo? O que você tá fazendo aí?
No comprende. Leave me alone.
Você tem alguma coisa pra mim? Do you got something for me?
For you? Tell you what I got. I got a gun, and if anybody thinks they're gonna take it from me, they'd be dead wrong.
Yep, ready for that. Got them all there. Didn't get hit at all, too.
I had to deal with them. I couldn't just put my head in the sand.
The bartender was in on it, too.
Me dê cobertura e comece a tirar a vantagem de 3.
That comforting smell of secondhand beer and exploitation.
Yeah, trying to take an American's gun, one of the worst things that you could possibly do. The picture of Serrano.
There was nothing for me back there but more problems.
There's this guy.
No shooting! Por favor, amigo! No.
Relax, soldier.
You're American? Oh, jeez, buddy. Am I glad to see you? Oh, fuck me. I've been coming to this shithole town for the last 5 years. It's like a fucking insane asylum. But it's got the cheapest pussy in the world. Fuck me. I mean,
You're in a cat house in the slum, pal, doing who knows what.
I'm a businessman, bro. And they were fully legal in this country. I think. And I know how to tip, all right? It ain't my fault, man. It ain't my fault. Don't
Notice how
judge me,
Max
all
is
right?
raising his gun at him
Have
the
a
more he
nice
talks.
day.
Jesus, what a fucking creep.
Okay, and there's a lot of clues in this mission, just making sure that I, yeah, okay. Did I get them all? It was self-defense.
É o gringo. Ah, não sei. Tô vendo porra nenhuma. A gente desce ou não? Foda-se. Isso aí já era, não vale a pena não. É certo.
The fireworks display was clearly in my honor, making sure everyone knew to roll out the red carpet for their surprise guest. I was walking into another not-so-welcome party. These hoods didn't look like Commando Sombra. Not that I was gonna get picky. This was clearly their turf. and I just shot up their favorite skin joint.
If I just shut up their favorite skin joint. And in this mission, I think you fight 3 different gangs alone. I'm just looking around for the graffiti because I know that in a lot of the places the graffiti is actually a clue. He's still alive.
I was getting nowhere fast. The cold turkey was messing with me.
This is, I'm pretty sure right here this is a clue, but I can't look at it for some reason. I'm pretty sure this was a clue right here. Yeah, this was, pretty sure the clue. Because I remember there was a gang tag right in this area that you could, examine. But I guess because that's, even when I hit new game, it doesn't, like, there's no commentary in some of the clues that I hit.
I could hear a woman screaming. I thought I'd found Fabiana, but instead I'd stumbled across some testosterone fest. A bunch of young punks with guns killing time the only way they knew how. Nova Esperanza wasn't exactly a dinner and
you remember
movie
these
kind of
idiots?
place.
These are the guys who
I
robbed Max
recognized the
earlier.
hoods who jumped me earlier. I was trying to decide whether to crash this party or turn back, when my natural grace and finesse made the decision for me.
I gotta get in cover now. Mini 14 is definitely a very powerful rifle. Is that it? Are we clear? That one. There's a way to oh crap. There's a way to actually cheat fall damage in this game. Basically, if you jump, do a jump dive, if you know it's the last guy, and you're killing the last guy, when you get like that little animation when you just see yourself shooting the last guy, you will not take any fall damage. So I thought that was the last guy when I dived off the staircase. I know that some people are watching this and they're like, how are you doing this right now? It's used to play this game a lot back in the day. I beat this game on old school mode, but I personally, my favorite mode is hardcore mode, because hardcore mode, at least you get that last stand. But this is actually one of the hardest missions in the game, is the favela.
These bastards look different, tougher, more capable. They didn't look like Serrano's boys, but I could tell I was moving up the food chain. I hoped Fabiana wasn't going to be served up come feeding time.
These guys, this gang, I recognize. These guys are the Tropa Z. Tropa Z only appear in this mission, and Tropa Z are the main, the main enemies of Commando Sombre. Tropa Z are playable in the multiplayer, and in the multiplayer takes place after the single player, and there is actually a story. What happens is the Tropa Z actually invade the Commando Sombre's favela because they blame the Commando Sombre for Claudio's death, because Claudio comes from their neighborhood, so from the Tropa Z's neighborhood, that's where Claudio is from, and so they were pissed about Claudio dying, and they went after Commando Sombre for that. But this is Tropa Z, this is another clue, I just can't analyze it for some reason here, but that's their graffiti there. And about the favelas, one thing I'll say about them is, the Brazilian government actually tried to, actually cover up the, mass poverty that was in Rio de Janeiro when there was the Olympics. That guy's a gang member. Oh yeah, Claudio this here. So again, Claudio's from Tropa Z's neighborhood. Now, what I was saying earlier... let's see, Claudio's, Shrine to Claudio, flyer for Giovanna, that's what we're looking for next. About what I was saying, how they tried to cover up the poverty, what basically happened is, when there was the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro a number of years ago, instead of Brazil trying to actually improve conditions for people in the favelas, do you know what they did? They built this giant, like, wall around the favelas on the highway. So, like, where the highway is, there's, like, this really big wall as you're driving through the highways in Rio de Janeiro, and so you were not able to see the favelas. Because of that fully. Now, Brazil claimed, oh, we're not covering up the, you know, the poverty in the favelas, we're just doing this so the people in the favelas don't hear the noise from the highways. But that wall was specifically built so that you could not see the favelas. So, like, when all the athletes from the world were coming in, they weren't able to see the massive poverty that's in the favelas. That's one of the themes of Max Payne 3, there's this big theme between the rich and the poor. Oh, 1911, my favorite handgun. I only got 3 of rounds left. They could count, though. That's it out there. Sucks, lost a painkiller from that. Well, at least got one now. That's a flyer of Giovanna. Giovanna was helping the poor in the favelas. Yeah, trying to take cover behind that, not very intelligent. guy's got a plate carrier on. He's got a vest. Drug lab.
Só mija, ouvi essa, seu filho da puta. Caralho! Caralho, porra!
Two and one. Oh, I thought I got both of them. Never mind. Now about this stuff is, Max is supposed to comment on this. This is oxycodone. That's apparently what this stuff is. What they call it in Max Payne 3. Now, I didn't know much about this, so I looked it up. Oxycodone is apparently a real drug. It's not very common in America. It's much more common in South America. But what oxycodone basically is it's a cocaine paste mixed with gasoline, kerosene, and it actually sells for around 20% of the price of crack, and is like 2 times stronger. And in places like the favelas, it's gonna be very common.
Cigarettes. Fireworks. I couldn't find any clues in this place, so I decided to do my bit for the drugs trade.
Commando Sombra. Their turf now.
That much security, it had to be Serrano's pad. Since I was in the neighborhood, I figured he wouldn't mind if I dropped in and thanked him personally for his hospitality. It wasn't like he wasn't expecting me.
That happens when you're in a bad piece of cover and you just can't get a shot on them. crap. Okay, I gotta make this count. I'm running low here. Okay, the shotgun's the only thing I've left.
I had to hope the king was in his castle. As I approached the spot, I could hear raised voices. Then I saw that Marcello had turned up with a suitcase full of money along with Fabiano's sister, Giovanna. I only understood a little, but things were not going well. I wasn't expecting quite so many armed goons, but there was no backing out now. I would just have to act harder than I felt.
Put the guns down! Let the girls go. No one needs to die, asshole. Tomar no cu, seu gringo de merda. Vou matar sim. Don't you kill her! Don't you? Okay. Seu filho Atividade! É a porra da UP! Você fica com o gringo! A galera conta tem depois. Vamos nessa, caralho! Atividade! Atividade, caralho!
Here I was again, with all hell breaking loose around me, standing over another dead girl I had been trying to protect.
Okay, so I guess we will wrap this up here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked the cosplay for this part. If you did, do drop a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.